Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mail. Thank you for stopping by again for another crafty video. Today we are going to play with a rather complex 3D embossing folder. I've not played with this one yet. Well, not with this technique anyways. I have played with this one for other cards, but I've not used the coordinating stencils with it. So the set I'm talking about is by Altenew. It is the Lush Garden layering stamp set. It has multiple pieces to it. So there is the layering stamps, which we are not going to use today. It also has the die set so that you could cut out those pieces. We're not going to use that today. It has a 3D embossing folder. We are going to use this. This is a fantastic 3D folder. It's absolutely just beautiful. So we're going to use this. And then there's two sets of stencils that comes with this. So you could do the stamps and you could use this for doing easy coloring on your stamps, or you could use this on the embossing folder for easy coloring. It's one layer with, or it's one stencil with multiple layers on it, and then you just have to line it up. Or you could use the more complex one, which is of course what we're gonna do, because you know, why not? So this one has 3 stencils to it and lots of pieces, but there are lots of images on this folder, and you can't see it real well on here. Now I did already run the panel through the embossing machine, and this is what it looks like. So we've got this set of flowers that's the same. These flowers and these ones are the same, and they kind of look like these ones, only in a smaller form. And then we have this one and this one out here. So we are going to use several different colors of ink on this, and we're going to see what it turns out to look like. And then we're going to make a card out of this for my friend Nita. So this mat that I'm using, this is from Altenew. This is out of the stamp wheel, and it's just a sticky mat. And so we're just going to put our paper on here. It's a little bit bowed from going through the embossing machine, but hopefully it'll be okay. So we're going to start out with stencil number 1. And I want to figure out what colors we want to do our flowers before I put this down and cover most of it. So I'm thinking her favorite colors, she likes pinks and purples, or pinky purples, and she also likes magenta, and she likes green. But I have too many flowers on here to just go with those colors, so I think I'm going to do some colors that kind of contrast with each other. I've got some yellow, and I've got some oranges, and then I've got the pinks and the magentas, and then some purples. So I think what we're going to do is these main flowers, because she likes the magenta, pinky, purpley colors the best. I think we'll do this one and these flowers going down through the middle at a diagonal in those. The daisies, of course, we'll do in the yellow. And then I think the little ones we'll do in purples, and then these larger ones that are kind of like these, we'll do in the oranges. So let's see if we can actually accomplish that. It seems like a lot, to be honest with you. So for this first stencil, and I've got ink on me already, and we haven't even started. So for the first stencil, we're going to lay this down the best we can. I'm going to try my best to not get in your camera view. And it seems to fit pretty snugly on there. So now, is this a flower? It is a flower, okay. There's no greenery on this one, I don't believe. That's flowers. Okay, so this is all flowers. So we were gonna do the purple, the pinkish purple colors on these flowers going down the middle, the yellows here, the other shade of, or the shades of purple on these ones, and then on the bigger ones we're going to go with some orange. So let's go ahead and start with the yellow because it's the lightest color. And I'm gonna try to be really careful and not get into spaces where I don't want the different colors, because I really would like to have all the colors, all of the flowers to be distinctively their own colors. Okay, so that's the yellow. And let's go ahead and do the orange one because it's pretty light in color too. Just some simple blending. I'm not doing anything fancy, just going around in a circle. Okay, that's the orange. And then let's do the, you know what, let's do the outer flowers first. So let's do the purple. And I think Fresh Freesia is the lighter purple, not Tyrant Heather. So some Fresh Freesia. And I'm just putting my finger over this one so I know not to go down into that one, because that's going to be the other color. I could have easily just masked that off, but this is not difficult to stencil this, so we're just going to work with this. And I just stuck my fingers in the ink again. And then we'll do some bubble bath for the light color of this. Bubble bath, it's kind of a funny color for a pink. I think maybe they were thinking like Mr. Bubble. Does anybody remember Mr. Bubble? We didn't use Mr. Bubble in our household. I think my brother was allergic to it. Pretty shade of pink though. Was Mr. Bubble pink? Did anybody use Mr. Bubble? And was it actually pink? I kind of remember the boxes. I thought the boxes were blue and Mr. Bubble was pink, which is kind of funny, Mr. Bubble. I'll have to look that up, but tell me, did you ever use Mr. Bubble when you were a kid? Or did you ever use it on your kids? Or with your kids? Not on your kids, but with your kids? I wonder if they still make Mr. Bubble. I'll have to look the next time I go to the store. Not that I'm gonna buy any, I don't do bubble baths, but I'm just curious now. I wonder how Mr. Bubble even came to be. And why they would give a bubble a Mr. instead of a Mrs. Because bubble doesn't sound very manly, but I guess with kids it doesn't really matter. And now I'm just off on a tangent. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, so that's the light shades. So, okay, that's pretty. Pretty. Okay, I'm gonna take and put this in the sink. So obviously my brain is into rambling today. So stencil number 2. Oh, and we've got extra pieces down here that are lined off. So apparently you do these ones separate because they've got a line dividing them. So let's see what this one gets us. If we line this up, okay, there's the top part of it and it goes this way. sometimes they're a little tricky to get lined up, especially if you're not right over top of the camera, which I'm definitely trying not to be. And those are flowers. Okay, so this little piece and this one are greenery. So maybe we can mask these off a little bit so that I don't mess this up. And maybe I ought to do the green pieces first to get them out of the way. It'd probably be easier to mask off the others. So if we mask off this one, oh wait, is that all leaves or is that greenery? Okay, so okay, so let's do the greens first. So that was this piece down here, and I got a little bit of pink in there because I gotta wash my hands because I got pink on my fingers. So I'll be back. Okay, and yes, my fingers are still a little bit pink, but at least it's not coming off on anything. And that's what we need. So let's go ahead and do some light green. I almost wish that they would have made the greenery a whole separate stencil. I think it would have made it easier because then you could just do all of the green at one time and not have to guess what's green and what's not. Maybe I should go into product development. That could be interesting. No, let's not do that. I like the job that I have. So now we'll take these off. And now I'll know not to hit those spots with the ink because they've already got ink in them. So let's go with the next darkest shade of each of the colors. For the yellows, that is my favorite, which is Bumblebee. I just love the Bumblebee color. Looks a little brownish on there. It's not really brown like that, but when it's highly saturated, it does look like that. Okay, so that's yellow, and then purple, we'll use some Highland Heather. Stencils, 3D embossing folders are interesting when you stencil over them because the parts that are raised up tend to catch the ink, so you end up with the darker areas, which gives it shading, leaving the light areas to look like they've been highlighted, which is pretty cool. And we're not going to do this one down here because that shape doesn't match. So let's just set this aside. And again, with the ink, forever in the ink. It's because of the way you have to close these that I constantly stick my fingers in them. Okay, and this is Berry Burst, which is a lovely color. A little bit of Berry Burst there. I need to be careful not to get up into here or over onto here. And yes, I just ink blended my thumb. Sometimes the little spaces are difficult to get into with a big brush. so now, that's pretty. Okay, so now we're going to figure out what these two pieces go to, which my guess is they fit right there. But I'm gonna go and rinse this off first so we don't get ink anywhere else on this. Okay, so the stencil is all cleaned off now. So now we're going to put this over here, and we did the orange on this one. So now we're gonna go the darker orange. That'll work. Okay, that's super pretty. I'm really liking how this one is coming out. So, oh, this has lots of divider lines on it. So stencil 3, so this is divided off, these are divided off, this is divided off. So let's figure out what is what here. I'm guessing, okay, so this is the bottom ones. Clean this up first. Okay, so this is some greenery. Okay, so I'm looking at this panel, which is the second one that I embossed. And I did this one on purpose because it's really difficult to keep lifting this up and try to figure out what's what. So I can simply look at this and say, okay, so this piece right here is right here, and that's greenery. This is the center of the flowers. This is greenery as well as this, but this is part of this flower. That's the center part, and I'll probably do that yellow. This is part of this section up here. That's part of that section. Down here is greenery. So this is mostly greenery plus flower centers. Okay, and then flower center here. So we'll probably do this one in orange because that will go well with the yellow. These two I'll probably do in yellow. And that's yet another flower with a center in it. So I might just do those in dark purple, and then we'll figure out the center part of that. Maybe I'll do some yellow on there first. Okay, so let's get this lined up so we can do some of the greenery. I think that's probably good. And I think for the greenery, I'm gonna do a combination of both of these greens that we had, because there's not another greenery stencil. So we've got this color of green was over here, so I think we'll put it over here. Or maybe we should make this leaf up here be green so that it matches these. Maybe we'll do them both. It's difficult to get into the little spaces with a big brush. Let's try this size for the little spaces. Yeah, that's a little better. And that's greenery in here too, but I think we'll do this greenery and this greenery the other green. Actually, we're gonna add a little more to this. Okay. use this green. This is Granny Apple Green. Okay, so now we got some flower centers to do. And the yellow ones I think we will do in the crushed curry. Is that crushed curry? Yes. So that's a center, and that's a center. So let's do those, and then this little one up here, there's a purple center in there. And this one is gonna end up getting covered over with purple, but the yellow will make it a little bit darker in that area. Okay, now we just have a little bit left to go. So I'm going to go rinse off this stencil so we can finish the rest of this. Okay, so stencil 3 also has pieces up here and over here. So let's see where these pieces fit in at, because I'm not 100% sure. I know we did this in the very beginning. Well, it makes sense that they would go over the white areas. Okay, so this piece fits over here, and this is going to be our darkest pinkish purple color. Which is the rich raspberry. And I got it down out of the stencil down here. That's a bummer. Not paying attention to what I was doing, and I got it down there. And I'm wondering why there's white pieces in here, if that's supposed to be. Seems a little weird. All right, so let me wash this off. All right, and the last part of this probably goes down right here. We will try to fix that area that I messed it up. And pretty sure that Nita watches my videos, so she will see that I messed it up. So hopefully we'll be able to fix that. Just not paying attention to what I was doing and where the stencil was. It's kind of a bummer when you get that far into a project and then you mess it up like that. Okay, so now I am wondering about those pieces, if I missed something. So I am gonna pull those other stencils back in. I feel like I missed something in here. So 3. I need to dry these off a little better. Okay, so the first stencil was here. The second stencil was up here and here. And then the third stencil was greenery. So there wasn't one that fills in these spaces. which is kind of odd to me because it looks unfinished. So let me take a look. So this is the guide. Okay, that's the layering, not the stencil, that's the stamps. Look at the other pieces. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. No, I guess there are supposed to be white spaces here. At the center of this one is not really that dark. I might go back in and fix that one. I don't know what stencil that was on though. Oops, it wasn't on number 1. Maybe it was on this one. Was it on number 3? Okay, so number 3 went this way. So we're going to do that again in a darker shade. That's better. To finish off this card, we're going to mat this on a black piece of cardstock. I have run this through the die cut machine so that I could get a stitched border around it. And now I'm just going to do my simple trick of just eyeballing this because it's going to need to be trimmed down some. And so I think I will take off of this side. So I'm just lining this up where I want to put it inside of that black stitched frame. And I'm just going to make a slight pencil mark. And then on the bottom, we will chop it off about right here. So let me trim this. And now it's going to fit perfectly within that black frame. And we'll put that on our card base. And this is A2 size, which means it's going to cover the entire front of this card base. Okay, and then this piece, we will go ahead and put in the center of that black one. And now, this section down here that I messed up, we are simply going to cover that with a nice sentiment. You would never know it, except for, like I said, I think Nita does tune in every now and then and watch my videos, which I appreciate. Thank you, Nita. And she's a card maker as well. She makes some lovely cards and she makes some beautiful journals. And so, you know, she knows all the tricks. She knows what happens behind the scenes on this kind of stuff. But I also know that Nita won't tell anybody. And yes, I am putting a lot of dimensionals on this because it's going to go through the mail. And I don't want it to come apart or get crushed when it goes through the mail rollers. I want it to arrive to her just as nice as it is when it left. Gonna figure out exactly where we want this placed. Yep, I think it's gonna be right there. And that, my friends, is Nita's card and our card for the day. So I hope you had fun watching this one come together. That stencil's a little tricky, but I think the time and the effort are totally worth the end result. And I hope you like how it came out. And I hope you like it too, Nita. It'll be in the mail soon. So take care, have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.